Welcome into Table Talk Tuesday, where this week we give you a preview of what's to come on Saturday. Okay, so as you know, over the last month, 2 months, couple months now, we've had this tiered system in place. With that, we've noticed a lot of good things happening, a lot of improvements. We also noticed that one of the things that we're struggling with right now is actually our knees to elbows or our toes to bar. So with that, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a couple minutes to go over a couple small technique things, and then I'll bring in Greg with me to go over a couple mobility pieces to help with those two movements. So as you watch here, I'm going to show you a kipping hitch here on the bar, which is just going to help with overall body control, that catch and release on the bar, using my shoulders and my hips to kind of create power. So if you're watching from the side over here, you'll be able to see how my body is in complete control, and as I'm pressing off the bar, my shoulders and hips stand one side, and as I pull through, then my shoulders and hips are still on the same side of the bar, with my feet going on the opposite side of it. If you're watching from the front, you'll see here where my hands are placed just outside of my shoulder to be able to create enough control and strength throughout. So again, hands are outside of the shoulder. I'm going to be pulling and pushing. You can see my shoulders and hips are staying with each other as I'm coming back and forth throughout that bar, or on either side of that bar. So from the rig, if you were to extend a straight line down, you'd see that my shoulders and hips stay together all the way through that movement. My feet aren't just swinging wildly side to side. What they're doing is they're going to be moving simply by product of my shoulders pushing and pulling. So from there, I can create a little bit more power and actually release off that bar at the top. So pull, push, create a lot more power and keep that going. Complete body control all the way through as I'm going. If somebody were to yell stop at any point in there, I should be able to hold on to that bar and maintain that position, because I am keeping my core tight as I'm pulling and pushing on that bar. From there, I'll progress up to my knees to elbows and my toes to bar. It would look like this: pull, push, pop, pull, push, pop, and then from there I can pull my knees up. If you're watching from the front, you'll see that my feet spread just a little bit, my knees spread just a little bit to get towards my elbows. If you're watching from the side there, you'll see my elbows bend slightly. You want to try to keep the arms straight, but I might bend them slightly to help get the knees in. And then the last piece is just kicking my toes to touch the bar. So knees bend in, kick, touch the bar, kick, touch the bar. In that last position there, it looks very similar to our V-up position, which is what I'll jump into next. So again, hands just outside of the shoulders. We're pushing off that bar. We're showing control of our shoulders and hips. Our feet move because of the power we create up top. And then we tuck the knees, and extend the legs. You go from knees to elbows to toes to the bottom. All right, so next thing we go over are V-ups. All right, so V-ups is just going to help with that core strength. So as we're on the rig, we're focused on that shoulder strength, and then the hips opening and closing, creating power. Here we're going to focus on creating a little bit more, or building a little bit more core strength as we're working up towards that. So with that, make sure that we do have the shoulder strength to be kind of creating that kind of power on the bar. So pull-ups are something that we want to be working towards, strict unassisted pull-ups. But with that, here are the V-ups. We'll be starting laying flat, hands overhead, and then as I come up, I'm going to be reaching forward to touch my toes out in front of my hips. So I don't want to be touching straight up over top of my hips. If we go back to that clip of me doing toes to bar, you'll notice that when my toes contact the bar, I'm in this position here. Same thing with my V-ups, so it looks like this. And back down. So as we're doing those V-ups, we want to make sure that we're showing control all the way through it. Toes are touching, or hands are touching my toes out in front of my hips. Something good with that would be 5 sets. So as we're doing that, we want to be working through, you're looking at 3 to 5 sets. You're doing 5 to 10 of those at a time. Essentially, we just want to be building that strength and control consistently through our core. So again, we did a little bit of work on the rig. We did a little bit of work here for strength throughout our core, and now we'll have Greg jump in and show us some mobility.
All right, so a few areas of mobility we want to look at here. One is through the hips, okay, and through the glutes. And we've seen this before, but we're going to go through it again. What I want to emphasize in the front, in the hip flexors, is the front pocket area. So we want to go front pocket area. We want to roll that out. Then we want to go to the back pocket area, which will be more glute medius. When Seth was doing the movement on the bar, the knees to elbow, he was extending through here. That's going to be more the glute medius. So there are two areas in the back that we need to roll out. We'll start in front, and what we want to do again is make sure we're angled enough to get on that front pocket area. Okay, and you can turn your body a little bit. You'll find that quote sweet spot there that's going to get your attention. Stay there until that feeling dissipates a little bit. Then you can move and turn a little bit and find the next spot. All right. So front pocket, then go to the back pocket. Again, you'll be turned a little more than you would think you would have to here so that you get that glute medius. All right. Stay there. When you feel that discomfort start to subside, then you can angle it a little more and even come back over to the glute maximus, or the muscle that's going to help extend that hip. Okay, so you're pretty much right on the roller here, the foam roller, you're sitting on it. Okay, then you want to come back, because of the way the muscles fire, you want to come back to the quads. All right, so you come back to the front, find the bone at the front of the hip here. We're going to simplify this. You want to be on that. All right, so that's where you're going to start. You're going to roll it down. You'll find the spot that starts to get to you, and then flex and extend the leg here. It's almost like a myofascial release, doing it to yourself. Again, when that starts to subside, roll the whole way down and find the next spot. Go ahead and flex and extend. That'll catch your attention, and that's okay. And keep working your way down here. Okay. Now, a lot of people want to go to the IT band. All right. There's literature out there that talks that, well, we know this isn't a muscle. So a lot of times when you're on that IT band and you're feeling that discomfort, it's really the most lateral portion of the quad. So make sure as you're on here rolling out the quad, you turn from the outside to get the more lateral part of it and back to the inside. All right, there are 4 muscles there. That's why it's called a quad. You want to make sure you get that whole area from the lateral part to the center to the medial part rolled out. Well, what you want to do is have your shoulder blades against the floor, and you want to punch up towards the ceiling. And that's how you strengthen the serratus and stabilize the scapula, which is needed in the movement when you're up on the rig to bring the knees to the elbows or even knees to the chest.
All right, so you're just supporting that directly over your chest?
Yep, directly over the chest. You're punching up right into the ceiling.
And you're not using necessarily, you're not using your arms.
Not using your arms at all. They're straight. It's coming from the scapula, or that muscle that lines the inside of the scapula called the serratus anterior. And that's the way you want to strengthen that.
All right, so there you have it. We went over quite a bit of stuff. Make sure you dissect this video. It's great things to work on before, during, or before or after class. Throw it in with your accessory work. These are things that are going to help you stay safe and healthy throughout your movements, create a good strong base, and then allow you to progress through that tiered programming as you can. So thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you next week on Table Talk Tuesday.